Now when you have the physical and data link layers, that's really the network access layer. And that's where the switches, access points, and wireless controllers all reside. It's called layer 2. And you've got layer 1 physical, and that includes cabling, transceiver, modems, antennas, and repeaters. So all of these devices, when I say layer 2, I'm really referring to the first two layers, layer 1 and layer 2 of the TCP model. And some of the common protocols, things like Ethernet. So here what I've got is I've got the three groups here: monitoring, configuration, and control. And I'm going to work that into this management VLAN and where they fit. So monitoring is done with the management VLAN. What you do is you define a VLAN on each switch and wireless access point. You can call it management if you want. Easier for identification and troubleshooting when you give it a name such as management. And so any monitoring activities from SNMP will be done right on that management VLAN. And then you've got configuration as well, and anytime you connect to do some configuration, a network switch, a layer 2 switch, or a wireless access point, you can connect with Telnet or SSH or HTTP if you want to use web-based GUI to do your configuration. That would access it through the management VLAN as well. Then you've also got this layer 2 control, and that's that third group, and it's got all the protocols for layer 2 control for inter-switch connectivity between all the layer 2 devices, and it is assigned VLAN 1. So typically you can have them on the same VLAN. You can use the management VLAN for VLAN 1, and that's typically what you would do. You just put them all on VLAN 1. You can't change VLAN 1 for the control traffic. It has to stay on VLAN 1 because that's the Cisco default. So typically you make a choice as to whether you want to leave it all on VLAN 1. So everything's connected here, and the management VLAN is associated with a subnet, because anytime you've got a VLAN, it is a logical separate network, and that has a separate subnet. In this case, I've got an example 172.16.100.0. This is the data network. The layer 2 doesn't extend to a host. You're not managing hosts, you're just managing network devices. So the data runs from here, and if you're doing configuration, it's actually data traffic. So we'll go through some addressing here. Anytime you've got a single VLAN, management VLAN 100, it's going to have addressable managed devices. So I'm giving it 100 here. In this example, network control information on VLAN 1, and I'm separated out the monitoring configuration on its own separate network. But you don't have to do that. In this example, that's how I've done it. So VLAN 1 is network control. You don't have to do anything. It's just the Cisco default, and any control traffic will use that VLAN number. In the management VLAN, this is for monitoring and configuration. So monitoring from, so the SNMP traffic will use this management VLAN subnet to get all the traps from devices. And it'll use this as kind of the source address to send that information back to the monitoring station. In configuration, what it'll do, if you want to start a Telnet session, you would Telnet to 192.160.105. So that's what you do. You would actually address that switch for configuration using that IP address. They've got their own separate IP address, but they're all part of the management VLAN 100. So that's how configuration would work. You just make it addressable. And there's the wireless access point. It's got its own as well. And anytime you've got a /24, that gives you 254 network devices that I can manage with only a single management VLAN. When you consider it more than enough for even a medium-sized or large data center, when you've got 250 devices. If it's not, you can set up another management VLAN as well. So what happens is the layer 2 management VLAN extends right to this multi-layer switch. And at that point then, the connection then becomes a layer 3 domain to the router. Routers and multi-layer switches are not managed through a management VLAN. They will use loopback interfaces. But I also set up what's called a VLAN 100 interface on this multi-layer switch. I'll put it within the same subnet as the VLAN 100. It's just got .254 for an IP address. And this is really only just for routing. It's not for management. It's called an SVI. It provides the glue between layer 2 and layer 3 domains. You can get the traffic from layer 2 onto this layer 3 domain and over to the network management station. So think of it like that. It just provides that routing glue.